6th.
No, it's 5th. Last hour's April.
The last hour is always a multiple of 4.
Yeah.
So the first hour is always a multiple of 4 plus 1. So the last hour we just did was 85, and this is 86. Anyway, my name is Leo, and I'm going to be... This is the tone. It's not. Do the maths. Welcome to Adventures...
What hour of Leo's breakdown?
4 times 20 is 80. 80
I'm not... We are live on the internet. I am not having an argument with you.
But the first...
Think about the first session. What was hour 1? Was hour 1 hour 1? What was the last hour of session of day 1? 4. 4. Yeah. Right.
Leo and Naomi broke up.
This is a relaxed performance. Which means we have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of those who would struggle to stay still or silent for the entire hour. If you do have any questions about our nonsense, please do ask. The lights are going to stay exactly like this, and there should be no loud noises, although there will be mood music from time to time. It's set by Naomi, though, so who knows? Revenge! No, Naomi's excellent. She's our stage manager, just over your right shoulder there. If you do need anything, please do ask her. If you feel like we're getting too much for you, fair enough. You feel free to duck out of the door that you came in. And when you're ready to be readmitted, ask one of the sweet staff, because they need to fob you in. What is this? What are we doing? Who knows? This is Adventurers Wanted. This is a tabletop role-playing game, which means that the 4 people on my left and right here play unique individual characters in a fantasy setting. And as the game master, I control the fantasy setting, which means I control the allies and the enemies and the weather and anything else that becomes relevant, the cogs that they'll be rotating. And to try and keep things a little bit fair, we interact with one another using dice. The most common die you'll hear us talk about is the D20, a 20-sided die, or an icosahedron, if you're feeling very nerdy. In general, higher numbers are better, lower numbers are worse. Anything above a 20 is quite impressive by the game's standards, but we're getting into fairly high-level play here, so you may hear numbers above 20 quite a lot. If it hits 30, that's really cool. Highest we've had is 39, I think, so far in the run. 45. No, as in to attack. To attack, not damage. What else? So what's going on? This is, as we have established, the 86th hour, which means there is 85 hours of backstory. Yes, we're good. Cool. Let me... This is a bit, right, darling? We're fine, yeah? The characters are members of a rebellion which was enslaved for 5 years by an imperial cult that made them mine a mysterious ore. Over the course of the game, they have fought a war to throw off this rebellion, and they have chased them interdimensionally to try and finish them off once and for all and make sure that they never enslave another world again. They have chased them to the Nexus, which is this weird clockwork construct in the and it has been claimed that it is in the center of the very universe itself. They are satisfied that they want to get home, and the very person who can help them get home, the suit called Copper, has just been kidnapped by a clockwork automaton, and where we will pick up, they have just been entreated to go and get it back again. So we'll jump straight back in there as soon as possible, but first let's meet our players and their characters. So starting on my right with yourself, James, tell us your name, your character's name, your pronouns, and a little bit about where they're at the moment.
As Leo has just stolen my thunder, my name is James. My character's name is Locke. It's a he, him, and he is a tiefling warlock, so half devil, so horns and a tail and red skin. He's had a very emotional roller coaster ride over the last 85 hours.
Yep.
Sorry, Naomi. And has just come out on top and is feeling in a very fighty mood today because he finally got a natural 20.
Yay!
It was quite the emotional moment.
I believe in the last 2 hours you played, you rolled five critical failures. Yes. over 2 hours.
I've not had a session apart from the last one where I've not got a 1.
Yeah. Chloe.
Hello, I'm Chloe. I'm playing Flair, who's a fire genasi bard. So red skin, flames instead of hair. She kind of forgets how intimidating that can make her look. I use she/her pronouns. Flair uses she/her pronouns. And when I'm playing Flair, I speak with a fantasy New Zealand accent, which is very much from a fantasy universe. And so any deviations from what you might expect New Zealand to sound is very deliberate, and it's a creative choice.
Creative choice.
I'm making.
Absolutely. Emma?
So I'm Emma, I'm she/her, as is my character Catsel. I'm playing a dwarven barbarian, different character for anyone who's been watching previously. She is in a rage halfway up a wall. She's really
Not a
happy.
metaphor.
Okay. And yourself?
I am
Colin.
he, him, as is my character, Toriel and Arion, an elvish bard of great dignity.
Yeah, could you spell that for Nay, it's Toriel.
Toriel.
Yeah. There we are. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. So robes, a lyre, that sort of thing.
Fantastic. Interesting. Okay. And Toriel, being one of the elves around, and being fairly stealthy and fast on your feet as well, it is yourself that Pancas turns to and says, "Please, you've got to get the suit back. We've spent too much time. The cost has been too high. Help us!"
Well, Pancreas, we will do what we can.
Pancas!
I do apologise. What a slip-up. But how do we
Why
enter
can no one say my name?
Sorry. Yes, we will do our very best to get that suit, although I do have... There's a girl in there, and it is...
The suit needs to be powered somehow. It is powered by souls.
Fine, we need to get home. Is there like an entrance? Can we see this entrance in the wall, or is it all like...
So the specific place that the retriever came out of has closed up and is no longer... As Catsel furiously climbs up and bangs on it, it won't open. The wall is shut, and you'll have to find another way. Pancas says to you, "I would show you myself, but frankly, I'm a little bit upset right now."
Who could have taken it, Panky?
I don't know. The Nexus is mysterious. It does things that we have not understood yet. One of our best scouts is Nerasaga. She'll take you. I'm sure you'll find some amusing ways of saying her name as well.
What, Neversaga? Oh, what a lovely lady.
Nerasaga.
Neversaga.
Yes, that's my name. Nerasaga. And
Lovely. It's quite hard to pronounce, but I've done it perfectly, haven't I?
you could call me Neri if you want.
I'd prefer Neversaga.
Okay, Nerasaga it is. Yes, I'm excited. I think I know. So, my mother, before she died, she used to tell me stories about this place. I've never been there myself. It's really exciting. I'd love to take you, but apparently it's a place where we can track things.
Still banging on the wall.
Yeah.
Get back!
So above you, Catsel the dwarf is hanging off of the wall with one hand, smacking her hammer against the wall with the other.
Sorry, I'll just leave it to it if you're just having fun.
Just leave it. She'll come down on her
Hang
own.
on. Sorry, one at a time.
Can this be the point where I wander through from a side room?
Yes, fine.
And I'm just gonna stand just beneath and just be like, what are you doing?
Look down.
Hi.
Drop the rage. Oh, hello!
Hi, is this what, are we all meant to be doing this? And
Oh,
I
no,
just
no, no,
like
no.
start going like that on the wall.
I'll
Can
drop
it-
off-
can-
I'll drop off the wall.
Can I get an attack roll from you?
Sure you can. That would be, is that just like, well, it's a flat 12.
It's just a punch, so...
Strength is 1.
What? So, okay.
13.
You manage not to cut yourself on the wall as you're just slapping it. Has no effect.
I'm just gonna jump down.
Yeah, okay. Acrobatics check as you're falling about 40 feet.
3.
Okay, you...
Do I need to make a dex save because I was stood on
Yes.
the That's not much, that's a 6.
Okay.
So we've not even begun to hunt this guy down yet, and we're doing more damage to ourselves.
So cats.
My head's on fire.
Cats. I'm not gonna put that in. Catsell, you take 14 points of damage as you fall and bounce off the wall, gashing yourself, twisting your ankle when you fall. And Flare, she falls directly onto you. You take 7 points of damage as the two of you are knocked prone.
Narasaga, I think it might be best if you let us forthwith before we can injure ourselves anymore.
Right.
Does anyone do any healing? It kind of hurts actually now that it's not. Who bit me?
I think it was you.
I can fix that though, and I'll do cure wounds just at first level.
Okay, that's single D8.
Yeah, that's just a D8 plus.
Oh.
So, hey, 12 points.
12.
I'm gonna forget to do it myself. Then.
Can I get survival checks from everybody, please? As you're thinking about tracking now.
18.
12.
14.
18,
12.
12, 14, 10. Catsell, as you're looking at the bite mark on your arm, you just sort of try and match it up to you. Yeah, it does look like you. The rest of you can see scratches, metal on metal scratches, leading further out into the Nexus, down one of the archways leading off from this hall, where the Oaken Bolter and the Stone Defender went. In fact, the remnants of this stone clockwork automaton that you destroyed in the last hour, is still there. However, Toriel, you've been, or Toriel, sorry, you've been wandering.
That's fine.
Fine. You've been wandering around the Nexus a little bit, trying to get your bearings. It's only natural for a scout, for a rogue, to want to get their bearings.
I'm a bard.
Oh, you're a bard. He's a bard. Well, you were looking for things to write about then. As you're wandering around, what is your particular bardic sort of
I think it's
channel?
a lyre.
Lyre.
I think I care deeply about music theory. Very learned. I've come from a very, very taught place.
He's
not
a reviewer.
natural.
He's a critic. Sure. You have an inkling that this corridor ahead of you actually leads round to the left, and then there's a large sort of shaft way that goes both up and down. Careful, you. That goes both up and down, and there have been many rooms that lead off of here. With an 18, you don't really know where to begin to search through them, but that's where you're going.
I relay this information. Enormous shaft, lots of rooms. Yes.
So, we're going now, are we?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
let's go.
Nothing else to do.
That's true, there is literally nothing else to do here.
I was having a really nice time, but okay.
Oh, poor.
I was just entertaining myself.
And others.
Yeah,
You must have been in a different room.
I was. Yeah.
Hi, Flair.
Hi,
We go way back to-
Lock. Hi, Lock.
Yeah. Glad we're such good friends.
Okay, so Nerasaga bounds off down this archway, and she's quite excitable. She doesn't really wait for you to follow her.
Run after her.
Yeah, I'm running next to you.
I
Yeah.
hurry after her.
Yeah.
I think I have to hitch my robes up slightly.
I carry him like a train.
Yeah, you're behind
Oh,
him.
thank you. Oh, it's like being at home.
Where do you live?
A big palace with lots of servants.
I thought you meant like people getting married a lot.
Oh,
I live in a
no.
church. Okay, carry on.
So you go round the corner into this great big shaft area. You and Nerasaga just very handily begins. Well, we'll see. Nope. She very slowly begins climbing across the walls, up the cogs towards a certain doorway, and she just looks down, back over her shoulder, and goes, "Follow me!"
Oh, we're all doing
And the
Oh.
cogs all moving at this point.
The cogs are all moving.
In a way that makes it look like they're going to cut our fingers off.
Yes, but she doesn't seem to care. She seems to be just very aware of that.
Right.
This would be a very
So-
bad time to roll a natural one.
Do you know what? I've got a plan. Got a plan. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Who's got rope?
No.
I mean, I don't want to do this the boring way. I do have 3 uses of Dimension Door, so...
I have some rope in my leg. You can use that.
It's true.
I can get really angry, and I'll climb up it, and then I'll pull you all up.
I mean, I don't trust anything I do, so yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it when people have plans.
Yeah.
I'm going to cough awkwardly and slightly shamefacedly Dimension Door.
Sure.
Can I go with you?
Take me with you.
As I'm sort of beginning
I'm
to
holding
pick
his
out,
chain.
as I'm beginning to pick out a, like, it's incredibly technically complex and just doesn't sound nice to anyone, but is, like, deeply musical tune.
I see.
And you sort of get this, and I'm like, very well, and ping.
And you're both like, and Nerisaga looks up and sees you appear on the doorway that she's heading towards and goes, "Ah, hello."
It was this one, wasn't it?
I think so. How are the two of you getting there?
How's you find it?
Yeah, go for it. Can I do like a kind of some form of performance or deception, because Flair also has Dimension Door,
Okay.
but she seems so excited about her plan
We'll call it deception.
that Flair doesn't want to like spoil it. Deception.
Can I get an insight check from?
That's a 9. It's a 9, and you rolled a flat 10.
She's being very condescending at this moment in time.
Okay, then I'll have to get up.
13 to climb.
A 13. So, were you going into rage? Or were you, no, okay, so you just begin to sadly climb behind Nerisaga. You do much better than Nerisaga is doing, but you still just almost manage to catch your little finger in between some cogs. I'm not going to make you take damage for it, but that is what you needed. 13, so it's like, it's difficult to do.
I'll just kind of awkwardly cast Dimension.
How does your Dimension Door appear?
It's just there are little sparks and little embers from my hair that just like spill off around the floor around me and kind of just create a little glow on whatever surface I'm standing on, and then just I like fall through that.
Oh, nice. Okay, and then reappear from just above where you were trying to go.
Yeah.
Cool. So that happens, and then Nerisaga clambers up, followed by Catsel, onto this. Oh, yeah. Well, she's in the way. Do you want to climb over her? Okay. So you go. Stay still, and clamber over her, and then help her come up to the top. I'll say that gives her advantage. No, not better. As you pull her up, you're starting to feel a little bit disconcerted about your guide, as she's shown that she's not very good at climbing, and this seems to be quite climbing heavy.
More of a ground-based tracker, are you?
Well, I said I'd never been up here, didn't I? That was exciting, though, wasn't it?
Well done.
Anyone else's hands hurt?
No. I have calluses now.
I'm holding his train.
Oh, it nearly got my finger, so just so you know.
But you're doing really well.
Really well.
Oh.
You did so well.
Thank you.
Can we keep her? Okay.
You go through the door. She leads you through the door, and ahead of you is another very closed door. It stands out to you because it's not made of the clockwork that the rest of the doors that you've been working with have. Instead, it's made of just sheet metal. This is just an iron door with rivets going down the sides of it. It looks incredibly fastly stuck.
Do we still see any of those like the metal scratch marks?
Roll a survival check.
11.
No, you don't. No.
Okay.
But you get the impression that nobody's been to this particular area for a long time.
Okay.
But does that just mean that they've not been to this side of the door? Could there be something on the other side of the sealed wall?
Well, I like I said, I think it's some kind of tracking hub. That's what I've been told.
Open the door?
Nope. No idea how.
Let's go have a
Look.
look at the door.
And she bangs on the door completely wantonly. Bangs on the door, goes, see, locked.
Painfully.
Is there a doorknob?
Nope.
Is there anything to either side of the door that looks like some kind of control or something?
Roll an investigation check for me.
Really not rolling that well. Oh, okay, that's better. Oh, investigation. That's a 27.
Good. Thank God for that. So, what Flair finds is there is a clock just to the side of the door that looks very much like what it has is it's an analog clock and then has a punch card sort of rack underneath it. There is one punch card in the rack still there. That's it. Behind, and then you start to cast your eyes out around the wall. Something's just happened. You start to cast your eyes out around the wall, and you see that there are 4 other cogs that stand out. These 4 cogs are set apart from the wall, and you can see that as you follow with your eyes the clockwork that they link up with, these cogs are instrumental in opening that door, and they need to be pushed back into place, and then the rest of the clockwork will just tick away. There are 4 of them.
I relate that to everyone else, but probably not as efficiently. So
I'm happy to go over any other details again if we need.
Guys, there's some things in the wall, and there's like a clock here, and there's bits of clock over there, and then there's someone's, I don't know, gone to work, on all these things, and I just kind of point out.
I understand you perfectly.
Good.
I go and stand near one of the cogs that's sticking out and wait for my teammates to stand near the other one so we can push it all at the same time.
I look rather distasteful, pull out like a pair of like fine leather gloves and put them on and sort of sigh and like brace myself against one of the cogs.
And Nerasaga stands there and goes, can I do anything?
Do you need to place the punch card somewhere?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Or like, yeah, but is the timer, the clock relevant?
I don't know.
Why don't you investigate that and
Should we
just push them now?
Should we try?
She doesn't know. Why am I rolling terribly with this woman? There we are.
I go 3, 2, 1.
As you push, all of the cogs give you resistance, but you can hold the center of them in place, and they slowly begin to whir. As you hold them there, the door swings open behind you.
I've got a feeling that if we let go, the door's gonna shut.
Okay, after
Do
3.
something with the punch card. Someone do something with the punch card.
Nerasaga walks over to the piece of cardboard, lifts it up, and punches it.
Put it in.
That's not.
Put the bit of paper in the hole.
In the hole?
Is there a hole, a slot?
The slot.
There is indeed a slot. She puts it in there. It seems to be broken.
Okay, after 3, let's all just try and run through the door.
Okay.
On 3 or after 3?
On 4. On 4.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
Well,
Run.
will you say 4?
No, I'm not going to say 4.
Okay.
I'll say run.
So we imagine
Wait,
4.
so we're running on run, not
So
after run?
yes, but
1,
2, 3, run!
Can I get dexterity checks from everybody, please?
Can I use acrobatics?
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Well,
11.
If this is just straight dex, 19.
Well, it would be running, so it technically would be athletics.
Yeah,
but-
let's say it's dex. It's
can I
19.
just have a straight
Can
dex?
I roll athletics, please?
Okay, roll athletics or dexterity saving throws.
Dex saving throw, modified 20.
Modified 20, 19,
19.
19,
3.
3. Locke, you are still trying to work out whether it's
Wait,
run
was
on,
it on
4.
4?
Can I?
And you-
can I
you
bardic
go-
inspiration?
It won't help.
It's
Yeah, fine.
the DC was harder than that, I'm afraid. So as you reach the door, the 3 of you all reach the door neck and neck, and you just manage to scrape your fingers in between, and you feel Flair. You're just inches ahead of the other 2. You feel that you can't push this door, you can't fight it. If you don't remove your hand, it's just going to get chopped off.
But then I removed my hand.
There you are. And the door shuts in your face.
Is there then a like
Okay,
clong,
so-
clong, clong as we all like run straight into it?
Yeah.
On it.
I'm just stood there.
And as you're stood near the cogs, Locke, you see that the cogs are all forced back out of place, out of the wall.
Right, we got the first part of this puzzle down.
Maybe we did it in the wrong order. What happened?
We could do?
No, but
We could just go back and fetch 4 other people.
Oh well,
No, because then we have to do that
Climb.
and we only have so much magic, and you were again like I don't know, maybe like a performance.
I
Because I'm
feel-
trying to go. You were shit at climbing.
I was not shit at climbing. She was shit at climbing.
Also,
I'm
I
trying to go
feel-
she
how-
was I don't.
Hang on, now, one at a time, guys.
I don't hide it well, so I think I just end up going. And climbing isn't really. You're
Yeah, but
not
wait.
good at walls.
Okay.
So.
What did you two want to
What
say?
about if three of us and Nosaga push them in? You seem to be quite good at investigating. You can have a look at the clock punching thing and see if we can work out that.
Yeah, I'm happy to hold a thing in. I can hold a thing in.
Can I hold?
Okay, is there anyone else we could ask? Just no.
Yeah, let's do it. Go.
Okay, I'll go and.
One,
Okay.
2, 3.
The door swings back open as the clockwork whirs with the cogs back in place.
Oh, or go look on the other side of the door, see if there's something in there to.
Okay, I'm a bit worried about getting trapped. As long as the
Just
clock
go.
was the clock not going?
The clock is not going.
And then when they're in, is it going?
No.
It's still not going.
As you're looking at it, it's stuck on 4 o'clock.
Okay. Like Chloe has no idea, so Flair will walk through the door and see if there's something on the other side.
Fine. You walk through the door as your 4 other allies just stand there holding these cogs in place.
I'll come straight back.
Around the area here, there are pulleys and levers all out of the wall, all interweaving with the clockwork. Can I get an investigation check as you look around here?
Yep.
Oh.
29.
29! There is a single chair here in the middle of the room. You didn't need the 29 to catch that. That's where I'm starting. Don't worry.
Just very, very small.
The invisible chair, of course.
What the chair is stood in front of is a wall, which at first glimpse, if you were looking at it just uninterestedly, would just be another wall of cogs. But as you look at it, it's actually coloured differently so that it stands out. And then there are other high contrast cogs inside of it. Ones that are red, ones that are painted yellow, ones that are chipped paint coming off of it, but you can see it was painted blue one day. This appears to be, with your intelligence of 29 that you just rolled, a map of the Nexus. And in the middle, you can see there is in fact a green crystal which corresponds to the big green crystal downstairs. And some of the cogs are moving, whirring themselves up and down as the levers pull themselves up and down and around the map. It is a tracking system.
Right. And I'm guessing there's nothing that immediately goes, here's where the big robot thing is.
Yes, because you rolled a 29, like fair. There's one that is moving around itself, and it has a smaller cog next to it. So it is clearly like it's moving another cog, and you kind of get the impression that might be it. And then your heart drops as you realise that is actually really close to you, and the shaft that you came up, you have to go down it and then around to get there.
Okay. I start backing out of the room to everyone who's got there. If anyone else wants to look, I can hold something, but I think I've seen where the robot thing is, and we have to go back down the thing we just came up and around.
Cool.
Very well.
That's the detail I have.
You did so well.
Yeah!
Thanks. I really enjoy investigating things.
Should we let our scout have a little look at it? Because
Yeah,
it'd
shall
probably
I-
make more sense.
Shall I? I can take it.
I'm very good at holding this cog in, guys. Like, try not to hurt my feelings,
I
yeah?
wouldn't know about this room if it wasn't for her. So let's just.
Thank you.
Let's let her have a little look.
And then you were very rude.
You
9, guys. That's what's happening.
Do you wanna?
Yeah.
Shall we
All
just?
of us have charisma
hang on.
80.
Have you got it?
Yeah, I think I've. Yeah,
Have you got it?
Yep.
Are you sure you've got it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, good. And she wanders off into the room, and you just hear, "What's this chair for?"
let's leave her in there.
No, she's so lovely.
Again, I've rolled single figures, so she goes, "What's this chair for?" Ooh, pretty cogs on the wall. Do you think maybe this one, maybe they're...
I think the cog that's like near another cog, and it's always 2 cogs moving for the robot thing.
Yeah, that would make... okay. And I actually think that this is quite close by. I think if we go down the shaft,
Yep.
and then it's just a couple of corners, and we'll come to wherever it's holding it.
Thank you for that useful information.
Shall I come back out now?
Yes.
Come back out.
Okay. She exits through the iron doors, and you let the cogs go, and the doors they force themselves out of the wall again. The clockwork jamming against itself, and the doors swing shut.
So, is it round?
Down the shaft.
All the way back down, or
Yes.
to a new entrance, literally where we were.
No, not where you were. Further down. So you remember you came out in the middle of the shaft, and it went up and down.
Yep.
You need to go down. You went up last time.
Is it more than 500 feet?
I like how you think.
Well, let's just see. It says several hundred feet, so I'm going to roll a d10.
Roll for several.
50-50.
400 feet.
Well, not that climbing wasn't fun for all of those who took it last time. Shall we?
How many people can you take?
Well, I can take one, and you did this, but with a
I
cooler
can take,
effect.
I can take someone as well.
Right, why don't you take her?
Oh, there's 5 of us.
So you're gonna try climbing again.
It's been so boring. I've been so bored. And I'm ready to climb!
Wow, and Catsel goes into a rage because of how bored she's been in the Nexus.
Are you going to be biting yourself again as you climb down to maintain the rage?
Correct.
Okay.
I think you know what I want you to do.
I mean, as soon as you mention it, you're just going to hear her laughing quickly.
That's his bridal train, not
Okay, hang on. So you walk over to the... Oh, there's the internet gone. You walk over to the door that you flipped up to again. And can I get perception checks as you all look down into the basin, apart from Catsel, who's in a rage and just climbs over the side again. Can I get an athletics check for you, please? So, what did we get?
7.
7.
10.
10.
11.
Yeah.
No, 13.
13. Okay, so as you look down into the basin, you're not quite sure. You can't really pick out a safe landing place for the dimension door with a perception of 7 and 13.
Can I be cheeky and ask if I can pick out like a pair of spectacles or something from a bag and try again? You're welcome to say no.
Okay, I'll give you one more try with disadvantage because it is cheeky. So roll twice, take the lower one, yeah?
Yeah, I pick out a pair of very severe half-moon spectacles, put them on. Oh, it's a critical fail!
Okay. You just get caught up in... There's a horrible smudge on these.
Gets the glasses out and drops them down the shaft.
Whoops!
Oh, no.
I'm not doing any reading for a while.
You've got books with you.
17. As you watch, Catsel is pacing her way down, and is... every time you bite, you need to take a point of damage, because otherwise, mechanically, it doesn't work. So... How far? Well, we said it was 400. If we really want to get into the maths, your speed is 25 feet, which is half because you're climbing.
And I'm not wearing armour, so I get an extra 10 feet as a barbarian.
Okay, so 35 feet, halved, so 17. 400 divided by 17 and a half. Yeah, I know. Is 22 rounds. It's going to take you down. Yeah. I'm going to allow the bite to be a free action. That's fine.
I mean, your rage
So 11.
If we wanted to get, rage only lasts for a minute.
So 5. So you take 5 points of damage from biting your own arm, and by the time you reach a sort of platform, your arm is pretty bloody. Sorry, it was this one, wasn't it?
Have you made it?
Can I get perception checks again from everybody to watch as you're just watching Catsell go down and down?
Natural 20!
14 and 16. So, Toriel, as
I never need my glasses at all, it turns out. They were holding me back.
well, it was just an odd shadow. You know, clockwork looks very strange, and it's not particularly Euclidean, this place. So yeah, there's been some messing around. And as Catsell brings herself out onto a platform, you're like, oh, I thought that wasn't a platform. I thought it was a straight jump.
Very well.
Oh, look at his
Take your glasses off.
Roll a dexterity saving throw. Do with that what you will. Do you want to tread on the glasses or miss them? She treads on them, okay. We'll say they were not broken, they're bent. Damn
Thank you.
Poor thing.
Do I arrive with
Yep,
again
so-
a burst of discordant music just as this happens?
Absolutely, and Nerasaga looks really awkwardly at you and goes, so how does this... What do we...
If you just stand here,
Yeah.
like a little bit, okay, yeah, because you need to be within what happens on the floor, okay? And then...
Is this too close? Is this...
just gonna see. Oh no, I rolled fine on deception. No, it's fine. It's fine. And then just breathe, okay? And then we just like appear.
Am I...
Oh, hi guys. How you doing? Really long time down there.
She's fine, she rolled an 18. That's her highest roll so far. She's like, that was awesome!
Oh, in the confusion, my spectacles appear to have been trodden on by someone or something.
I'm so sorry.
Roll an intelligence check quickly. Go on. Have you got mending?
9.
So yeah, these are bent out of shape.
Well, at
Properly.
least I got them back.
I'm really sorry.
Maybe I could, if I could help.
Sure.
And I take them and I just hold them in my hand, and you see them briefly glow like red hot. They look like they're burning.
Are you sure you...
That seems to like smelt and like reshape, and they slowly bend back into how they should be, and then they cool down, and I hand them back over.
Drop some. Oh god.
Oh my, what a... Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's really cool.
It's really basic magic actually, but that's okay.
Really cool.
All I can do is, I guess I prestidigitate my hands clean.
Sure. There was a little bit of oil from the cogs where you were even you were trying to. Yeah, actually, you've got your gloves on, so
Prestidigitate my gloves.
your gloves clean. Okay, so behind this platform, there's another door. Nerasaga turns around and goes, "Definitely this way."
Do I believe her having been the other person who's looked at the map?
Roll a survival check.
15.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we hear anything, like, or is it all just sort of ambient clanging?
Roll a perception check.
Despite being in tune to noises, 11.
11. There is a lot of clanging. It's all clockwork around here. You don't particularly hear anyone's voices except your own.
Well, then we go through the door, right?
More doors.
More doors.
Don't simply walk into more doors.
Hey, there we go.
You're all thinking it.
I was thinking it, to be fair.
I
Yeah.
know you.
Can I get perception checks from everyone else as you start wandering down the corridor?
Sorry, what check is this?
Perception.
3.
Oh, I got a natural 20 with Nerasaga.
12.
12, 3, 5. So Nerasaga, being at the front, holds out her arms suddenly and goes, "Stop, stop, 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 stop."
We stopped.
Pretty sure there's a trap. I don't know why I'm whispering. The trap can't hear us.
Is anybody...
Can I see it? No, she's pointing it out.
No, not with a 3. You're looking. She's pointing at the floor. It looks like the floor. It looks like clockwork.
It's the floor, Nerasaga.
No. That cog is. It's protruding.
Should we all stay step
Yes.
round it.
Sure. Okay.
Do you want to go first?
No.
Do you want me to go first?
Go on then.
I'll walk over it.
You just walk over it.
I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah, right, okay. Can I get a dexterity saving throw from you, please? 13. That's higher than what I rolled, so we'll say that as you're aware of the cog, it starts to slip a little bit as you move closer, and you're like, oh. And then you just sprint. You do like a combat roll as basically the clockwork shoots darts out at you from the wall that you were unaware were there, and they all miss you, and you're fine on the other side, but the corridor now stretches maliciously ahead of you.
Okay, so there definitely is a trap.
Yeah.
I told you!
Do you think it's only one use?
No.
Oh.
Do you want me to come back?
I mean, I don't want to put you through that. Despite what you put my glasses through. Anyway.
I'm really sorry. They were just, you can't really see anything, and there was blood everywhere, and it just.
Oh.
I've got a great idea. Dimension door.
Well, I've
You can see the end of the corridor. It's only about 200 feet away.
I want to keep some of my high level.
I mean, I've got. So it seems to be this thing is being triggered by a cog.
Yes.
I've got a dagger.
Okay.
Try and jam it in there.
Make an attack roll.
Okay. Oh boy, 11.
11? Yeah, you just manage. I mean, it takes you a second longer than would be smooth. But yeah, it jiggles as it goes in. And you break the cog in place, and you hear a clunk behind the walls.
I step gingerly forwards.
Put your foot down, and nothing happens.
I peg it.
Okay.
At the moment he starts pegging it, I also peg it.
If they start running past me, I'll go with them.
Okay, yeah, they do. They start running past you. Locke, Neresaga's looking at you like, oh, they've gone.
Do you wanna...
Yeah, I guess a stroll. Okay. Locke and Neresaga stroll behind. Flare and Toriel are quick, but as soon as you pass Catsell, she, with the speed that only a very bored person can achieve, paces past you towards the end of this corridor, which opens out into a large sort of... It looks like a drum. It looks like the shaft that you've just been in, but it's filled with detritus, with clutter, with stuff.
I found a hoarder!
And above you, a weird sphere sort of just hangs in the air. It's about 700 feet up, and around it, can I get a perception check? Yeah. Can I get a perception check? 10. And there seems to be some movement on it as you watch. Just this...
Found a hoarder?
Yeah. The two of you see this next. Can I get perception checks from both of you? And then Locke and Neresaga last as you stroll.
It's a critical fail.
Critical failure.
You're
still dealing with those glasses, man.
5.
5, yep.
10.
Well, it's a good job Neresaga rolled an 18. And as she points it out, the four of you all see it. The retriever clambers and clinks around the outside of this sphere. And she also goes, look, there's Copper! And you can see Copper's face just poking out from within the sphere, and it seems to have been made part of this pile of this detritus, this nest, essentially.
Right.
We have a retriever at home, but it's a lovely dog.
This one's a silver retriever.
There's a real step down in quality.
Yeah, well, there you are.
Are there any ways that you get your retriever to do what you want it to that we could try on this one?
We get one of those spritz bottles of water.
I could try shouting at it. It didn't work last time.
Down! Down!
Roll an intimidation check with disadvantage.
That's a 2.
The retriever notices you now and scuttles to the other side of the sphere.
disobedient, this one.
Should we get it? Should we get it?
Let's get it.
Well, do we want to get the thing on?
It's 700 feet away.
It's 700 feet in the air, just to be clear.
I see what
I
you're
know
doing.
someone who's good at climbing.
I don't mind climbing. Climbing's good. Climbing's good.
I'm quite good at climbing as well, remember?
Do I...
And she begins to climb up the side of the wall really, really adeptly this time. It looks like she's been watching you and she's learned a few things.
Doing alright.
Um,
It's good. I'll leave it to it.
Oh, it's 700 feet. I can't.
Is there a ledge?
Is there a ledge?
There's
Roll an
500
investigation
feet away.
check quickly.
Ooh! Wow, I've had very bimodal rolls. 18.
18. Good. That makes for the best entertainment in my opinion. You can see that there is nearby a panel. It's about 60 feet up, but it's just sort of hanging loose in the wall, and it seems to have a piston underneath it that could lever it up.
There's 60 feet up.
It's about 60 feet up, yeah. Yeah, that's what so you were specifically looking for ledges and things.
Yeah.
You see another 60 feet above it, there's another one, and then another one. And there are 5 of these panels in a spiral leading up to this sphere that would bring you about 400 feet away from the sphere.
Is there a control panel looking thing anywhere?
You can roll another investigation check. Does anyone want to help with
I
this?
say there seem to be pistoned panels. I'm looking for a control panel for them. Investigation this time is 12.
I'll help you feel the walls.
Yeah.
I'll look around as
Okay.
well for control panels and stuff. That is 27.
27. What you find is another control panel. There is the one that looks a lot like the clock that you had before, and there's a broken clock in the wall, almost like I was trying to introduce a mechanic in safe environments so that when it was in a dangerous environment they'd understand it. There's a clock in the side of the wall, and this time underneath it there are 5 bells.
So, you know, when we keep the door open with just like brute force rather than the clock thing,
Because we're playing D&D, yeah.
We're doing what?
Roll a d4. Catcell gets 2 points of psychic damage as her nose begins to bleed. Wait, what were you saying? I don't understand.
so there's another clock over here that looks kind of the same, but there's bills and stuff.
Don't look at me. Bells are not my
Did
not my
we
thing.
keep the punch card?
No.
Oh.
No.
Is there a slot to put the punch card in?
Nope.
Are there ringers on the bells?
There are ringers on the bells.
Can I start playing an avant-garde piece of music with
Can
the
I
ringers?
take several
Absolutely.
steps away?
Roll a performance check.
16.
How many times does each of these this avant-garde? How many times does each bell get used by this avant-garde?
I think I keep going in a strange rhythm until something I think I start. This is proper flow activity for me. I'm as soon as I get into it, unless somebody starts and I'm really discordant noises coming out of a lot of the bells in a way that doesn't seem like it should be possible.
You're just ringing the bells, not with the ringers. You're actually using a dagger to tap the side of them to get a new and innovative sound that others just wouldn't appreciate.
Yeah.
And as each bell is rung, one of the panels goes up above you with an incredible grinding noise, and pieces of detritus just sort of fall from the air. And as Toriel absent-mindedly continues his song while the 4 of the others look up at these panels, that is where we're going to have to leave this hour of Adventurers Wanted. So thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do spread the word about the show on your social medias, on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitch. We're Adventurers Wanted. On Twitter, we're at Adventurers250. And Naomi has been live tweeting all of this as we go, and we're live streaming on Twitch, like I said. So if you can't come for one of the 13 other hours that we're running so far for the rest of the Fringe, then you can keep up there. But please do feel free to come back and see if they finally manage to get home. We also have we also have a Patreon page and a donate button on our website. So if you feel like you want to support us that way, that would be most welcome. We do this every month in London, as well as doing free play events to try and bring D&D as a hobby to a wider, more inclusive audience. Now, just before we say goodbye, I'd like to hand over to our players, wonderful players, to plug something that they've been involved in the Fringe, or indeed in their normal lives. Chloe?
This isn't something that I'm involved in, but I may as well plug one or two of the shows that I've seen this year. I would massively recommend, if you like your comedy incredibly absurd but highly creative, Tom Walker's Honk, 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 which is at Underbelly, Bristow Square. I think it's 6:45 start, but it's just a joyful, ridiculous, but incredibly impressive hour of comedy.
Cool. James?
I am doing a children's show, which I don't think would interest you guys, but you're coming. Yeah. You want to be Rob's child for the day, please accompany him. Also tonight I'm doing a late night panel show. It starts at 10 at sweet venues around the corner called Imaginary Porno Charades. It's what it sounds like.
Emma?
So I play with Adventurers in London, so come see Omen if you're there, and also about to start a live play Curse of Strahd podcast, so keep going on my Twitter, which name is shouted out on Adventurers.
Awesome. And Colin?
Just here as a punter, I've really enjoyed Short and Curly, Adam Riches. Yeah. Thanks
Fantastic.
very much for having me.
No, thank you very much for playing. And indeed, if you do feel like you want to play, I think have we had some returns, or are we sold out currently?
I would need to check.
We'll need to check, but
potential returns for the
there's very limited availability to come and play up here on stage with us. So, last thing I'd like to do is say, please do show your appreciation for our players and their wonderful nonsense. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. We do have a very quick turnaround. I hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah.
Yes.